We are currently looking through the eyes of Mike. Mike has lived in Parmesiano all his life. He lived there when it was still a tiny village. Now he is working the field that we are looking at. His friends just bought a house across the river from him. Life is pretty good for Mike, but there's still one thing missing. Hey there, my name is Cheesy, and we are playing City Skylines 2. What Mike is missing is not something that we will find in our city statistics. He has most of the things he wants. He has school, he has access to commercial, to some parks. But what he is missing is what we are looking at right now. Now we can see that the river is quite a barren land, just some grass, a few trees, but it doesn't really look like a river that runs through a city. So in today's episode we will be making this way more pretty. We will be building a custom park, and I will show you some tricks in how to get this done. So first things first is if we go into our roads. If you remember from our interchanged episode, we learned that we can place a little wall underneath our streets. And I want to use this to create kind of, what do you call it, a key wall effect. So let me show you. If we set the elevation of the roads to a very small step and we indeed take the pedestrian road, you can see this road is kind of making a wall below it. And if we follow the coastline, we should be able to make this fit like the key wall I was talking about. This may take a few tries. It's not that easy doing it without mods in the game. One thing that may help is turning off all snapping and just keeping it near the coastline. After playing the keys, I like to go through with our landscaping tool. Let's see, put it on the shift terrain with a small brush size and very small strength. And then I like to go through and places like this where you can see the terrain popping, just right click it a bit to let the terrain drop down. Like this, and we can pretty it up a bit. Also over here on the top of the key, you can see this is quite steep, and maybe we can push it down a little bit to make it look more natural. I think it already looks a lot better. And the trick with using these terrain brushes is really to keep the strength down. In City Skylines 1 we had to use mods to get this level of... Over here we can see it didn't work, so let's delete the road for a bit and then see if we can place it back in the right order. It seems willing to do that. Or not. It was a bit ugly. Okay, so let's try that again. And that really is the big trick with this kind of project. Don't be afraid to go back on your work. Just lay the bare bones of it, go through with some landscaping, and then redraw the parts that maybe aren't that pretty yet. So again, you can see here it, instead of the raised road with the wall beneath it, it placed the normal road. So let's delete this part of the road again. Because we already lowered the terrain, this looks different. So probably we can just line this up and it will be okay. I think we have to take it back one more section. And like that is okay again. So let's continue working out the edges. As I was trying to say before we got distracted, is in City Skylines 1 we had to use mods in order to get this kind of precision with the landscaping tools. But I think it's really nice that in this version of the game that you just have this amount of control from the get-go. I'm hoping to see in the future also some different brush sizes, maybe a square or some weird shapes, so that we really can get into the nitty-gritty of making also some mountains and stuff. I don't really feel comfortable using these tools right now to make some mountains. But yeah, maybe when I get a little better at the game, or if we have some more tools, then I will definitely think about that. Next phase will be to lower the ground a little bit on the upside of the key. So let's use our level terrain tool for that, and maybe have a bigger brush size. And then what we can do is right click to select the height we want, and left click around the keys and holding the left mouse button to up these hills a little bit, smoothen it out like this. You can over here you can see there's quite a big difference. So what I'd like to do then is use the soften terrain tool and just tap it a little bit to make it look prettier. Over here there's quite not that much room. Yeah, right, you know what I mean. So I think we can get away with one there. We don't have to level it out completely. Let's do the same on the other side. So again, here it's quite short to the road, so we're gonna leave this alone. But maybe somewhere over here it's quite reasonable to lower this down a little bit. So I will just do one click around the keys, and then when we get back we can also have a look at some softening of the terrain. So let's do that now. So let's make the brush a little bit bigger so that we have quite a large area of effect. And then just smoothly tap these areas. And as you can see, the hill is smooth now and we have a place for our recreational area to grow. So let's take our pets and see what we can come up with. I think over here that's quite a big area, so maybe we can have some paths that go away from the key and have a bit of a scenic route. So maybe people that like to go for a walk or for a cycle, they can come to this park and just have different routes around it. Not just a straight path going straight to the key, but also some paths to get around, maybe take a shortcut. You know, really give them some recreational options. Over here there's quite a steep slope, so we have to take it gently. I don't want the bridge over here, so let's smooth this out a little bit more. With a small brush this time. And hopefully this will be just enough to get us down the hill. And as you can see, it did exactly that. Let's see if we have a few more points of connection. Maybe here near the crossroads. On this side of the river we also have these apartments and offices. So you can imagine that people in their lunch break will come here, take a stroll around the river. And maybe eat their sandwiches over here. Enjoy some time off with their co-workers. Or even the people living in these apartments, when they want to go for a stroll, they can just go out of the door and, well, enjoy the city. And that is exactly what we want to achieve. On the other side of the river, we of course have this very big bluff. So I want to do something special with this. What we have in our Parks and Recreation tab is the Landmarks tab. And here we have some special buildings. For example, we have this observation tower. I think it's way too big for the city right now. Same with the Ferris wheel, it's just a bit out of scale. But one thing I think that fits perfectly over here, it's the bell tower of Xi'an. I know we don't have an Asian themed city, But maybe we can say that Parmesiano and Xi'an are like sister cities, so to say. And they, as part of that collaboration, they exchanged some landmarks. So let's draw a path around this facility. I'm trying to get close to this building, but no matter how hard I try or from which direction I come, I don't seem to be able to get it past. Maybe if we take it from the side. So now that we already have a place that is close, maybe we can draw this connection. Then take out the side roads. It doesn't even let me bulldoze this, so let's give up on that idea real quick. And just continue our loop around the building. It's okay for now. So let's again snap to our angle. I think just angle is great, and try to get this to line up. If we go 55 meters over here, and then again 55 over here, it should be straight, and we can do the same thing on the other side. Let's snap straight, find the guideline. So we can see this is 150 meters away. So if we subtract the extra, we should be around here, 96, thank you. And then again, if we use the simple curve tool, we should be able to straighten this out. And we can correct this after we have done all the harm already. So let's raise up the terrain, delete the bridge, and try this one more time. So out 55. Hello, hello, hello. These guidelines aren't helping us right now, so let's just snap straight, 180 degrees and 55 meters. Thank you, very welcome, please. Over here. There we go, and then if we take this part straight, we should be able to hit it up. And let's draw this in one more time, this time with the guidelines. And we can smooth out the part that we broke over here by gently tapping the left mouse button. If we had some fences in the game, I would definitely put a fence right here, because this would be a dangerous place to walk. But for now we have to use our imagination. Let's also make this a bit more pretty by planting a few trees. Maybe some bushes on a line right here, so that it looks like there is a path, even though we already established that it's quite impossible to place this path. We can still make it look like you are supposed to walk right here. We can do the same thing on the other side. And I can see actually there's people walking on this inner ring of the temple. I think that's really cool that they are using those paths as well. And it's a shame that we cannot hook up to them, but it is what it is. Let's also plant some pine trees near the edge. And what I'm trying to do is place this a little bit random, so it looks like they could have been here already, but still kind of center them around the path. I think that is already looking quite good. So now maybe let's try and find a way down this bluff. We should definitely put our counter lines on for that. And maybe we can start over here and try to wiggle our way down this hill. I'm okay with this little bit of wall, but I really don't want any bridges, so this is okay. Then let's find our way back to the main road over here without creating a crosswalk. And then from this path we can again branch off and follow the lower edge of the water. And again make this a bit of a scenic route. This won't be functional in game, in the sense that it won't add any happiness for the Sims or leisure or things like that. But I think it's also very important for a city to have, well, places like this that really give it some kind of character. Also in real life, we wouldn't want to live in a place that just has very functional aesthetic, it's all about function and not about beauty. I think as human beings we kind of crave being near nature, walking around trees, at least I do. So in my City Skyline games I really love to make places like this. For this particular spot we can see the game is trying to create a tunnel and I don't really like that. So I can go into the landscaping tools again, make this very small and very not strong. And then go through on this height, right click and left click to take away the hump. And now if we go into our paths, we can just connect this up. As you can see, this works great. Let's continue to find our way up. So yeah, as I was saying, this isn't functional, but I just really would love to have a place like this to walk around if I live in this city. So that is exactly why I am creating it for the Sims game. If we had some dirt pads in the game, I would definitely use those here. But since we don't have them, we are just going to act like that this is okay for us. Maybe in the future, with some future updates or DLC, we do get some extra pads and then we can actually change them. But for now, again, we have to use our imagination. I hope you are with me and appreciate the thought. Please let me know in the comments if you don't like this type of building and you would rather see me focus on the more functional, real, in the sense of the game then, of course, stuff. And not so much on this imaginary, as I'm saying the whole episode, we have to imagine. If you like that, really cool. I like that as well and I would want to continue with it. But if you guys don't like it, then yeah, tell me and we can focus on other stuff, of course. Over here I want to place a special building. So let's roll out a road real quick. This can be a straight road. And it doesn't have to be raised, so let's put this back to 0. Place the road. And then we can go into our signature buildings. In our last episode we unlocked the Villa City. This is a kind of a bar with a rooftop on it that overlooks the city over here, we're gonna say. So let's cross this street right here. And then can we move this? Yes, we can relocate it and turn it around. So now just imagine that you had this walk around the river. You maybe pass this key over here, you cross the bridge. Now you're thirsty and you're coming up here into the Villa City to have a drink and maybe look over the city. Over here we can see the roof. No, we can see the temple. We can see the new part of town. So this is really a nice place, yeah, to walk, to be a sim, I think. So let's finish up this peninsula by maybe drawing a path out here. So you could walk here and just take in the views by yourself. Right now this feels very open, not so much secluded and still like you're very much inside the city. To alleviate that, we are going to place some trees and we are going to use the trees that are already here. So that there's a lot of oaks and a lot of birches. So let's go to our oak first, then into the place multiple mode. We don't need this big of a brush. I think this is more than enough. And 50 strength sounds about right. Now we can go around and just plant these trees. And at first these will be baby trees, but they will grow soon enough. I think it's quite cool that City Skylines 2 does that. Letting the trees grow from small trees to big trees, I mean. That way, later when we place some newer neighborhoods next to some more established ones, we will really see the difference between old and new. That was something that we didn't have in the previous version of the game, but right now when we do have it, I think it's quite neat. But occasions like this, where I want to create a park quite quickly, it does seem a bit unfinished right now. with all these small trees that still have to grow in. But yeah, as I said, this is the idea behind it is very cool. Maybe some modders in the future can make a switch, so maybe you can choose if you want to plant the trees as just baby trees, or actually want them to be planted as full-grown trees. Of course, this is not realistic, but it does make it easier to see what you are doing. Because right now I really have to imagine how this is going to look in a few years' time. And that, yeah, makes it like a little bit harder. On this side, near the offices, I want to be a little more thoughtful about our planting of trees. So let's first outline the paths with these bushes. We can also place some taller trees near the water's edge, maybe some of the pine trees. The nice thing about these pine trees, I think, is that they are evergreens, so they will stay green all year long. So now this place really is a nice park for the people that live here, that work here. And this can be a little secluded spot for people to come eat their lunch. I would really love it if we had some benches and stuff like that to place, but unfortunately we cannot. So again, we will have to wait for some future DLC. Maybe we will have a parks DLC that lets us place all these types of benches, lamp posts, you name it. Fences, of course, that would also be really cool. And these types of rocks, I would like to be able to place them myself. But for now, in this version of the game, we just have to, yeah, take the game for what it is and create as beautiful a places as we can with the tools that we have available. Maybe if you guys are interested, I can make a video in the future on City Skylines 1. Because on City Skylines 1 we have a lot more tools for detailing, of course, and maybe we can then together create a park or maybe even a zoo, stuff like that. That's all possible in that game. Of course, it has a lot of years already of development, so that game is pretty much complete. That's where this game is still getting started. Also, this place, because it looks very cool, I want to give a bit more attention. So maybe again a few of these flowering bushes. And I don't want anything too tall inside the circle because of the views. Just imagine you driving down this road, coming here to visit the river, and you are greeted with this view, just openness, a good view at the quay, at the new park. You can see the temple over there on the bluff. This is just, yeah, we can say this is like the greeting card of our city. So I don't want to place anything tall in this half circle. But I am okay with some bushes outlining the edges, of course. So let's continue doing that real quick. And maybe we can splinter in just a few normal bushes around here. Just to have some green, but as I said, we need to respect this sideline. And we don't need to, but I want to, and I hope you are in for it as well. I think these islands in the middle of the water can also use some trees. For now they are going to stay barren. Maybe in the future we can think of something to place on top of them. But for now I like them to be a bit more naturally undeveloped, untouched by man, you could say. And with that, I think we can call Mike and make him a very, very happy citizen of ours. Because now he doesn't only have his friends living here, he doesn't only have his job at the farm, but he has this wonderful park. You can walk for quite some miles from one end of the river to the other, past offices, past a little cafe that we made on the small island. and you can then walk either down here or up this bluff to visit the temple. The temple, of course, is from our sister city in Xi'an, because everyone knows that Parmesiano and Xi'an are sister cities. There's no need to doubt me on that. And when we finished our work, there's just one thing for us left to do, and that is, of course, to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and maybe share it with your friends. I've been Cheesy, we've been building Parmesiano. Bye bye.